Students, today we'll see the next lecture is the topic LSD. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about introduction, then origin, and some physical test, or we can say the physical description of the LSD and extraction of the LSD. Today we'll see the next topic, that is the presumptive testing for the LSD, thin layer chromatography of LSD, some confirmatory tests for the presence of the same, then HPLC and GC analysis of LSD, and finally the identification of LSD by microscope, FTIR spectroscopy. So let us see one by one. So the first was the presumptive testing for the LSD. So the presumptive testing for LSD involves fluorescence test and chemical test. So the first is the fluorescence test for the LSD. So one of the property of LSD that can be exploited during the identification process, it is the fluorescence. Okay. So the fluorescence, it is somewhat different than the UV. So in such a test, the original dosage form or a drop of methanolic extract from the dose form is placed on filter paper and allowed to dry. The material is then observed under long wavelength UV light, that is about 360 nanometer, and if LSD is present, blue fluorescence will observe. The negative control demonstrate that the fluorescence is observed. It is due to the drug extracted into the methanol. So the positive control provides the reference color reaction and gives an idea of the intensity of the fluorescence that might be observed. So this is the fluorescence testing of the LSD. Then second one is the chemical testing for the LSD. So the classical presumptive test for LSD is the Eldridge reagent test. In this, 1 gram of the reagent, that is the para-dimethyl aminobenzaldehyde, is dissolved in the 10 ml of the orthophosphoric acid. Then, a small amount of reagent solution is then added either directly to the test substrate or to the extract to be tested, and any color change is observed, we can identify the compound. So if blue or purple color is developed, then the presence of LSD may be suspected and confirmatory test should be carried out. So in the chemical, as we know that presumptive tests are nothing but the some preliminary test by which we have to go for further confirmatory tests, so that if blue or purple color is developed, then we can have the LSD may be present in the given sample, and hence we can go to the confirmatory identification of the LSD. Then the next one is the thin layer chromatography of the LSD. So the following the possible identification of the presence of LSD, the next stage in the analysis is to use the thin layer chromatography. So this is employed because although it cannot be used to prove the identity of the LSD, so it can be used as a rapid, cost-effective method to eliminate those samples which give positive color reaction in the presumptive testing, but which do not contain this tag. So in this way, we can have such kind of confirmation with getting by using TLC. So these will be rarer when blotter acids are suspected, but may be more common where other substrates have been used as a carrier medium for the LSD. Activated silica gel plates containing the fluorescent dye, which obviously fluoresces at 254 nanometer, are generally used. The materials to be tested plus positive and negative controls are spotted onto the plate, and chromatograms develop in the regular way. Solvent system which can be used include chloroform methanol 9:1 by volume and chloroform acetone 1:4 by volume. Following the chromatogram development, the plates are removed from the chromatographic tank and the solvent fronts marked. The plate air dried and observed under a sharp, that is a 254 nanometer, and long wavelength such as a 360 nanometer UV light. Under the previous lightning conditions, LSD will appear as a dark spot. Means what if we perform the 254 nanometer wavelength? At that time, we can get a dark spot on the light background. While in the second case, it will appear as a bright spot on the dark background whenever we have using the 360 nanometer wavelength. The chromatogram should then be developed with Eldridge reagent with which indole alkalides including LSD react to give the purple product. So this is the thin layer identification of the LSD. So if product gives same results, is what RF value, that is retardation factor and color reaction as LSD under all of the conditions described, then further confirmatory tests should be carried out. However, if the materials do not yield the same physicochemical responses as the LSD under all conditions, then an exclusion has been achieved. Then confirmatory tests for the presence of LSD. So since there are a large number of materials which will produce the same result as LSD in one of the in one or more screening tests, so it is necessary to confirm the presence of the drug by using some instrumental techniques. So for that purpose, SPLC with fluorescent detection is the most commonly used instrument, although the GC technique is also used. So HPLC is also used as a mean for the quantification of the LSD. Means what we have to quantify the given sample or given LSD sample by using the HPLC. So first, HPLC analysis of LSD. So a number of HPLC methods are available for the analysis of LSD. Two are more presented here, namely ion suppression technique and then second one is the ion paired method. So the majority of techniques that are used exploit the same physicochemical characteristics of the system as those described here. So the first method is reverse phase method using the HPLC system conditions which are described in table 1. So the LSD is particularly amenable to the fluorescence detection, which also has the advantage of providing both selectivity and sensitivity. Selectivity means what? In the selectivity, selectively the particular analyte of interest is selectively identified, and sensitivity means what? It could, whenever the concentration is very low, it will detect it. So that is a sensitivity. Then the second of the method uses the ion pairing system, the conditions of which are given in the table number 2. So this system is not as specific as employing fluorescence detection, although it is included here to illustrate that the other separation mechanisms can be employed. So the table first where we have a typical HPLC in which ion suppression technique has been employed, having certain operating conditions and parameters used for the identification and quantification of the LSD. So parameters, first one is the column. So ODS, octet ODCl sulfate silica column having 10 centimeter length and 4.5 4.6 mm ID and 5 micron particle size. This is the specification for the column. Then solvent ethanol 65% as to 25 millimolar sodium hydrogen phosphate having pH of 8.0. The buffer solution having proportion of 35% while methanol it is 65%. Flow rate it is of 1 ml per minute and detection by using the fluorescence detector having excitation wavelength 320 nanometer and emission wavelength having 400 nanometer. Then this is the table number 2 which showing the typical HPLC which consists of a ion pairing operating system conditions and parameters used for the identification and quantification of the LSD. So the system parameters column, so ODS silica column having 25 centimeter length, 4.6 mm ID and zero point 0.8 micron particle size. So the solvent generally used here acetonitrile 45%, 50 millimole potassium hydrogen phosphate as to 5 millimole C8H17SO3 Na and pH that is paradoxin sulfonic sulfonate. Then flow rate it is a zero point 0.9 ml per minute and detection is at the wavelength 220 nanometer. Then the next confirmatory test it is the GC analysis. The gas chromatographic analysis of LSD is problematic because the relatively limited volatility of this compound occurred. However, GC-based methods have been applied. For example, GC, the conditions reported for such analysis are shown. Use the parameters and description column generally used here, having trade name BP5, having dimensions of 20 meter into 20 meter length and 0.2 mm of internal diameter, and having 0.33 micron particle size. Then injection temperature around 270 degrees Celsius we have injected the sample. Then column amount temperature should be 100 degrees Celsius, rising at 24 degrees Celsius per minute to 270 degrees Celsius. Program it is the isothermal for 35 minutes, and the detection is the mass spectrometric detection having no split ratio. Then next one is the identification of LSD by microwave FTIR spectroscopy. So more recently it has become possible to identify LSD in situ without the need for the extraction of the drug. In this technique, LSD blotter acid is described and then subjected to a simple extraction procedure followed by the micro FTIR spectroscopy directly on the extract. So in this approach, the blotter acid is the first soaked in water for 1 second, fails the fibers of the papers and was found to facilitate the extraction of the drug for the further spectroscopic analysis. The excess water was then removed from the blotter, which was subsequently placed on KBR disk and heated to 120 degrees Celsius for 1 minute. Okay. Then generally dichloromethane as to ammonia is in the proportion of 100 as to 1 was added to the blotter which dissolved the LSD, and the solution was then removed by using the micro syringe and placed on the KBR disk, and the spectrum is recorded for the sample. The IR spectrum was obtained by scanning in the wave number range 700 to 4000 per centimeter with 30 scans at resolution of 4 per centimeter being collected. From such data, it was possible to identify the LSD directly. Okay, so this is all about the LSD. Now, in the next lecture, we have discussed about the next topic. Okay.